Good evening, this is QTV News coming to you live from our studios on Kairaba Avenue, and I am Asma Uba. Thanks for joining us. Here are the main news headlines. Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, the president of the African Development Bank, arrived in the Gambia on Sunday on a brief visit and was received at the Banjul International Airport by Sidi Keita, the Gambia's Minister of Finance, for Finance and Economic Affairs, cabinet ministers and senior government officials. Following his arrival, the president of the African Development Bank, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, held talks with President Barrow in Mansakonko in the Lower River region on Monday before visiting the Senegambia Bridge. On Monday, for the first time, University of the Gambia students have had lectures at the newly built Faraba Banta campus, which is equipped with the state-of-the-art facilities. In business news on Saturday, Front Star Driving School, the leading driving school in the Gambia, held its latest field exercise for over 40 new trainee drivers. In international news, today is International Day of Non-Violence, observed on 2nd October, annually since 2007 in honor of Mahatma Gandhi, whose birthday fall on D-Day. Those and other stories coming up, do stay tuned. Thank you for staying with us now. Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, the president of the African Development Bank, is in the Gambia on a brief visit. He was received on arrival at the Banjul International Airport on Sunday night by Sidi Keita, the Gambia's Minister for Finance and Economic Affairs, who was joined by some cabinet ministers and senior government officials, including Bua Seydi, the governor of the Central Bank, and Yankuba Dabo, the Commissioner General of the Gambia Revenue Authority. Alusise was at the airport, and this is his report.
The president of the African Development Bank, Adesina Akinwumi, is visiting the Gambia for the first time. The African Development Bank had and continues to be a strong development partner to the Gambia. He is being received here at the airport by the Gambia's Minister for Finance and Economic Affairs, Sidi Keita, together with the governor of Central Bank, Bua Seydi, and of course the Commissioner General of the Gambia Revenue Authority, Yankuba Dabo, and other cabinet ministers are all here to receive this high-profile guest who is visiting the Gambia for the first time. During his stay in the Gambia, the president will hold meetings with senior government officials, including President Adama Barrow, the private sector, and other development partners here in the Gambia. What does this visit mean for the Gambia?
Thank you very much. We are very pleased, first of all, to receive the president of the African Development Bank, Dr. Adesina, who is on his first visit to the Gambia. And this is the first in many years that the African Development Bank president has visited the shores of the Gambia. It demonstrates the commitment of the president and the bank group to the development agenda of the Gambia government. And these all have been able to be achieved under the leadership of His Excellency President Adama Barrow, that we are partnering our development partners who are not only sending monies or supporting us financially, but have now taken the next step to physically be in the ground and see for themselves where their project monies are being deployed. So this is a big move for the Gambia, and it's a clear testimony and demonstration of the commitment of the president of the bank and the bank group to the Gambia's development agenda.
Where do you hope to see this visit take the relationship between Gambia and ADB?
Well, I think this is a clearer demonstration of the level of partnership between the Gambia government and the African Development Bank group. It has not been easy, and it's not easy to have the president of the African Development Bank group to visit a country. Don't forget, he's the president for 54 member countries of Africa. So for him to come and visit the Gambia in his busy calendar, that is a clear testimony and demonstration of his commitment and the commitment of the bank group to Gambia's development agenda. As you know, the Gambia and the bank has been together since 1974, and our collaboration goes back a long way. They have invested in a number of development transformative agenda, from the energy sector, education sector, agricultural sector, infrastructure sector, education sector. So it's across the entire spectrum of the development of the country. And again, the visit of the president will showcase to him where some of those development monies have gone. One such big project is the Senegambia Bridge, which was funded at a grant to the Gambia government. And being a grant, that means it's a gift to the government of the Gambia from the African Development Bank Group, which the tune of which has gone up to more than $100 million. So that is just one case we can showcase. And as you can see, the full-fledged of the bank management is here. We have the executive director of the bank, the senior director of the bank, the director of the bank are all here together with the president, high-power delegation to visit the shores of the country.
Does the Gambia's Minister for Finance and Economic Affairs, Sidi Keita, there expressing his delight with the relationship between the Gambia and ADB? Reporting for QTV News from the Banjul International Airport, I am Aliou Cissé.
On day one of his visit in the Gambia, the president of the African Development Bank, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, held talks with President Adama Barrow in Mansakonko in the Lower River region on Monday morning. The two later visited the Senegambia Bridge, which is largely financed by the bank, before witnessing the signing of an agreement between the government of the Gambia and Africa 50, an infrastructural arm of the bank, for the management and operation of the Senegambia Bridge for a projected period of 25 years at $100 million. The African Development Bank president spoke to QTV's Aliou Cissé, and here is an excerpt.
Excellency, welcome to the Gambia once more. Could you just kindly share with us the outcome of your meeting with the president this morning?
Well, first and foremost, I'm absolutely delighted to be here in the Gambia to see His Excellency President Barrow. It's a meeting that I've planned to do for quite some time, but somehow we've not been able to work schedules out. I'm delighted that I'm being able to be here. Gambia is a very, very important shareholder of the bank, joined the bank in 1974. And since that time, the bank has been a very, very active partner and supporter of the Gambia. And I told Mr. President about that level of support. Since we've been supporting Gambia, we've done about our $504 million of support to Gambia. And currently our support to Gambia is quite significant. It's about $282 million, and it covers different sectors. It covers energy, it covers infrastructure, it covers agriculture, it covers governance, it covers water and sanitation, and also youth and women's support. And so the president and I discussed about that. I told him how delighted I am about the Senegambia Bridge, which the African Development Bank financed with about $104 million US. It's a landmark. It's a beautiful bridge that has improved trade between Senegal and the Gambia, and also Gambia for the rest of the region. He was very excited about that, as much as I am excited about it as well. We talked about agriculture. The African Development Bank is supporting the Gambia to cope with some of the challenges that came with the crisis with Ukraine, and we provided about $19 million to support the country to produce more food. We are also supporting Gambia a lot in electricity as well. We have the OMVG project that is providing electricity for about 1.3 million people. We also just approved another project, which is rural access for electricity for about $21 million, which we just approved as a bank, and several others. I discussed two critical issues with the president. One is about youth. I'm excited about the president's determination to support the youth of the Gambia, and I told him that the African Development Bank will be ready and willing to support and provide financing to create what we call youth entrepreneurship investment banks. These are going to be new financial institutions that will support young entrepreneurs of the Gambia to thrive, because I think it's very important. And the president was very, very amenable to that, and we was delighted with that. I was very pleased with his confidence in the women. He wanted to see a lot of work done to support women in the Gambia, and I told him that we, from the African Development Bank, will support the establishment of a program here that's called Affirmative Finance Action for Women in Africa, or AFAWA, which we essentially provide financing for financial institutions to lend at an affordable rate to women in the country. I applauded his effort of the president on infrastructure. He seems to, as he told me, without infrastructure there's no development, and I agree with him. He said the first priority for him is infrastructure, second priority infrastructure, third priority infrastructure. I said, Mr. President, infrastructure is like the backbone in the body. If you have a backbone, you have an economy. If you don't have a backbone, you cannot thrive in an economy. So I am delighted to be here to be able to support him. And I told him I'm here in three capacities. I'm here as president of the bank, I'm here as his brother, and I'm here as his friend. So I'm here to have a good time with him, and I think we've started a great meeting together.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Now on Monday, for the first time, University of the Gambia students have had lectures at the newly built Faraba Banta campus, which is equipped with state-of-the-art facilities. Following the commencement of lectures at the new campus, QTV has been speaking to students to share their first-time learning experience at the new complex.
A new university semester begins in a new campus. Early in the morning of Monday, October 2nd, University of the Gambia students travel from afar by buses to attend lectures at their new campus in Faraba Banta. This morning's lectures kicked off at 8 a.m. I have been speaking to these students who have just finished their lectures for the day to share with us their feelings about this historic moment.
It's a very conducive learning environment because if you look at the classroom, the seats, it's very comfortable. It's not like the struggle of down there in Brikama where you go up and down looking for seats, looking for a venue. But here you have a very conducive venue. You have your seat, you have your overhead projector. Everything is just been amazing out there. Yes, and the connection between the student and the lecturer, everything, to be honest with me, Faraba is the best campus.
From experience, I believe Faraba is really suitable compared to Brikama, where we usually have our previous lectures. Looking at the classroom size, and also the conduciveness of the classrooms is excellent.
It's a great experience, yeah, and it's a big challenge for some people. It's being in a new environment, in a new school, new faculty, departments. It will be very, very interesting in the long run.
While we interacted with students, buses come in and out of the campus carrying students from different parts of the Greater Banjul area. 15 buses have been allocated to the UTG with at least 24 pickup points at various strategic locations from Kanifing to Faraba. Kemo Conte is the president of the University of the Gambia Students' Union. As a student leader, he has been monitoring developments at the campus.
We can all attest to the fact that this is a spectacular edifice. It's a state-of-the-art edifice that today's students are enjoying the lectures they've already had. Basically, what I observe is lectures went smoothly because some of the basic things we even talked about are here already. We have water, we have electricity, we have at least the learning tools that are needed in the class, such as the overhead projectors and all those things that are in place.
All the students we speak to are highly impressed with the modern facilities and equipment in the new campus, and they are confident that it will be a conducive learning environment. However, what has become a public concern is management and maintenance of the buildings and the facilities equipped with it. Here is Suleiman Jame, the UTG's facilities manager.
But from our part, from the side of facilities management, we will do our parts to actually rise to the occasion to deal with the issues as they come. And also we have planned schedules. We need more staff in terms of the logistics, the cleaning, the security and all that. We're working on all those things to be able to see that there are enough security here. There is going to be enough cleaners to be able to deal with the situations, and we've already deployed some people around that are actually running some cafeterias temporarily to actually provide food services for the students.
This complex is designed for the School of Education initially. However, in what is a temporary arrangement, students from at least 3 schools will have lectures here. Next week, it will be the turn of 3 more schools at the university to relocate to their new complexes at Faraba, namely the Schools of Arts and Sciences, Business and Public Administration, and Information Technology and Communications. Mahmoud Lamin Choi, QTV News.
That story by Mahmoud Lamin Choi takes us to a commercial break, but when we return, we have more stories for you. Do stay tuned.
As the fastest growing GSM company in the Gambia, QCell has the widest 4G plus coverage in the country, 3 times faster internet speed than our competitors. So switch now and dial *335# and enjoy what true 4G feels like. QCell, the Gambia's trusted network.
man de ma armanti lay dundé suma kër. Gis bi dafa ceeñ. Ceeñ. masuta ci waaw du gis ngeen daw si ba mu amee sikki sàkkane Armanti mii dañoo wecci ay cafkaam ba ñu ko ubbilee siwo bi ba xet gi dugg ko cam billaahi la mu yëg bari na Armanti ñaar fukki at ak nangam ba mu ne cëpp ci réew mi ba tey mësula wecci doxalin mësula wecci cafka
bu leen ci am benn ñaari xel man mii di jaay lépp luy produit gi Armanti rek am naa ko am na 500 millilitres 1000 millilitres ak 5 kilos ba noppi nag am 750 ml bi nga xam ne mi ngi toj réew mi gis nga Armanti Eva Protect Milk bi mooy mos dolli te Armanti spaghetti bii ngay gis moo dàq ci spaghetti yi
gis nga Armanti bottom margarine bi noonu la gënee ci yow mi nga xamante ne yaa ngi jaay tàngane ci Johnson bi kombi fi Armanti la dugal sa waa ñoddi sa kombi bi gis nga lii sardañ la da nga gis góobi jën bi dafa neex gis nga meew ko ndig mil bii Armanti ko fi indi moom mi dafa sakkan xoolal xale bii nu muy naanee banana milk bi gis ngeen flamingo oil bii dem leen ci bépp boutique bépp supermarket ci bépp marché
Armanti ki prodogam kenn mënu koo ceeñ
Armanti ba ndax moo di good quality.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV News, and I am Asma Uba. Now let's take a look at business news. On Saturday, Front Star Driving School, the leading driving school in the Gambia, held its latest field exercise for over 40 new trainee drivers following weeks of intensive training in theory and practical. Alusi say again.
Front Star Driving School has established a reputation as a renowned and trusted professional driving school in the Gambia. The Gambia has a terrible record of road traffic accidents, among the worst in the world. Much of that is due to poorly trained drivers being on the roads. At this testing exercise, students went through the Bison test, highway codes, and the practical, during which they demonstrated their level of comprehension after weeks of lessons by the expert instructors of Front Star Driving School. Alhaji Drame and Bubakar M. Jallo, who were invited as observers, expressed satisfaction with the skills manifested by the students and hope many more will enroll with Front Star Driving School.
Advising them like what they are taught, they utilize it. If they do so, most of these accidents we are having on the way will minimize.
Lucy Safo and Fatu Nsane, two of the latest batch of trainees, described their experiences at the school as memorable and impactful, and called on intending drivers to enroll now for professional training.
The experience is very encouraging, very challenging, very rewarding because I enjoyed it. No stress, I just relax because I'm not just training because of any competition, but I just take it as a holiday activity and I enjoyed it very much.
They do teach us both theory and practical, which is very unique. In other schools, they only teach you how to drive practical, not theory. And the theory is very important because you learn a lot about the road science, which is very important.
Aside from providing professional driving training, Front Star Company also offers social services involving deploying professional domestic workers to homes and institutions. Antoinette Mendy, the general manager, explained further.
Because we deem it necessary to have that done because it's a means of reducing the unemployment rate in the country, and we want the government to really encourage us in this and really support. We need public support in this service. It's really working well, and a lot of girls are involved into this, and they are receiving their monthly payments as other workers in the society.
Amadou Diallo, the testing officer, and Modlamin Jai, the chief instructor, were equally impressed with the exercise.
They did it perfectly, excellent. I am impressed. Front Star Driving School syllabus is divided into two. That is the practical and the theory section. So the theory section also is divided into two. That is street driving, that is highway driving, and also theory part. And sorry, parallel parking and reverse parking, so that everybody can understand how to drive. When we started, it doesn't mean we used to train only how to drive, but it's important also to train your student how to know how to park your car. Because if you go to many places, people can be able to drive, but how to park their car is always a problem to them.
Front Star Company is headquartered at Kanifing with branches in Brikama, Farafene and Basse, and substations at Sukura traffic lights and Jarasoma. They can be reached on 1218, a toll-free number. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliu Sise.
The Gambia Horse and Donkey Trust, in collaboration with the Department of Livestock Services, commemorated World Rabies Day in Mansakonko in the Lower River region on Thursday. Bakari Balde reports.
28 September is set aside annually as World Rabies Day to create awareness and promote prevention of the viral disease. If left untreated, rabies may cause serious health complications and death. The disease is widely spread by dog bite, and in Lower River region, the day was marked by vaccination of dogs. Mahmoud Kamara, the Regional Health Promotion Officer in LRR, explained how deadly the disease is.
Normally affect the nervous system, and we all know the nervous system is very, very important, is very, very paramount in the human body. Once the nervous system is affected, the person, the death rate will be very, very high. This is why it's good people to come out and bring their dogs so that they'll be vaccinated.
Abdullah Sise, Senior Livestock Officer and an advocate for animal welfare, outlined what needs to be done if a person is bitten by a dog.
When the animal bites someone, the owner of that particular dog should not kill that dog instantly. It has to hold that animal, giving water and food to check up to 11 to 12 days to see whether the animal is having the rabies.
Salum Jallo is the Gambia Horse and Donkey Project Manager.
Horse and Donkey, in addition to helping donors, are ready to sensitize people using the animal advocates, using the field staff in collaboration with the Department of Livestock Services. And this is one of the steps we have taken, vaccinating every year, going to Q Radio, QTV, going to Radio Birkamaba and other places to sensitize people so that they really know that the disease is here, and the best way to contain it is to vaccinate.
Ata Ulkudus Malik, who got his dogs vaccinated, highlights the importance of the vaccination.
This is anti-rabies vaccination. It also helps once, may God forbid, if dog bites someone. So it does not have that impact on the victim as if the normal dog who is not vaccinated have that impact. So it's good for the dog also, and for the owner, and for the community also.
Aside from the anti-rabies vaccine, dogs were also given antibiotics, multivitamins, dewormers and pain relief to help them stay safe and healthy. Bakari Balde, QTV News.
That story by Bakari Balde takes us to international news in a moment. International Day of Non-Violence is observed on the 2nd of October annually since 2007 in honor of Mahatma Gandhi, whose birthday falls on the day. Considered the father of India's independence, Gandhi pioneered the philosophy and strategy of non-violent resistance. Mahmoud Boj has more.
The UN chose the date for a good reason. Gandhi's dedication to India's independence and his methods have been the foundation of civil and human rights movements worldwide. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. drew on his strategy during the civil rights movement in the US in the 1960s. More recently, the Dalai Lama has said he was inspired by Gandhi's teachings. Would-be reformers worldwide, seeking to inspire change without inciting violence, have also invoked his teachings as their inspiration. The UN Secretary General, in his statement marking the occasion, says, "Let us remember Gandhi's wise counsel. Our ability to reach unity in diversity will be the beauty and the test of our civilization. Let us heed these words today and commit ourselves to this essential purpose." Incidentally, at the UN, on display at the Visitors Plaza is a non-violence sculpture known as the Knotted Gun, the symbol of the Non-Violence Project Foundation. In India, Gandhi's birthplace, in the state of Gujarat in 1869, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi paid tribute to him. The day is a national holiday in India. Gandhi's basic insight in his philosophy of satyagraha is that non-violent action could bring about significant social and political change. The word is from Sanskrit, an ancient classical language of India, and roughly translates as clinging to truth. According to scholars, satyagraha means devotion to truth. remaining unwaveringly committed to truth and resisting untruth actively, but not violently. More broadly, it is a philosophy of the simple life, unflinching, ascetic, emphasizes absolute social equality, service to others, and non-violence. First conceived in 1906 in South Africa, the concept's main categories of non-violent action include protest and persuasion, including marches and vigils, non-cooperation with oppressing authorities, blockades and occupations, fasting and economic boycotts. These were the tools he deployed in India until the British left the country in 1947. But the concept goes beyond civil disobedience. Its full range of application includes details of correct daily living. The true Gandhi spirit is high-minded, certainly, but one might ask, is it not starry-eyed? In the end, both he and Dr. King, the two most famous proponents of nonviolent action, were assassinated 20 years apart, Gandhi in 1948 and Dr. King in 1968. According to many Gandhi scholars, Satyagraha is not a starry-eyed romanticism in action. It focuses on down-to-earth practical programs, on action rather than theorizing, on deeds rather than speeches. It conquers opponents through conversion and converting through love and patient suffering, not crushing them. The true believer is willing to undergo self-suffering for the cause, whose ultimate aim is neither defeat nor victory, but a new harmony. On International Day of Nonviolence, the concept will perhaps repay reflecting on. For QTV News, I am Murumbo.
That's all we have for you in this news bulletin. Join us again at 10 p.m. for another bulletin. Thanks for watching and have a great evening.